Well, greetings, friends. Thank you for joining me today. In the New Testament, we have the book of Revelation that talk about end times. Well, in the Old Testament, we have the book of Daniel that has information that Daniel saw about the end times. Now, of course, we know that and the stories about Daniel in the lion's den and the 3 Hebrew children that we talked about yesterday that were cast in the fiery furnace. But chapters 7 to 12 are speaking of the futuristic. And oftentimes, when we think of the prophecies, we think of when and will they take place. And sometimes they take place more than once. For example, we see 2 mountains. It's been described to me like this: if there's 2 mountains, and oftentimes we're looking at the level part of the mountain, and we can see from mountaintop to mountaintop. We don't realize there's a valley in between it, so there's some space, there's time in between. Let me give you one such case. Well, in Daniel chapter 11, it's talking about the king of the north coming down to the king of the south. This took place between the 2 testaments. We call it the intertestamental period, during a 400-year period there between the Old and New Testament in chapter 11. But there is a statement there about the abomination of desolation. There's a king from the north that came down, offered sacrifices on the altar, a pig, commanded people to sacrifice to him, and so on and so forth. It was an abomination of desolation. Well, in the book of Revelation, that also came true. And so we see that there's a multiple fulfillment of this prophecy. But in chapter number 11, verse 32, there's a statement that in the midst of this horrible time for the Jewish people, it said in verse 32, the people who know their God shall be strong and do great exploits. Now those people in the history of time was the Maccabean family. They rose up and delivered Israel during that period for about 100 years. But I say to you, my friends, that in the day in which we live, that we must be strong in a time of pressure, in a time of oppression, in a time of debauchery going all on around us in the world today, when people are against God and against the Word of God. I want to say that there can be a people that will be strong and do great exploits. And I want to be that people, and I challenge you to don't give in to the pressures of this culture, but stand true, and God will help you to do great exploits. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.